Extreme things I don't do now that I know that I'm a highly sensitive person. So let me preface this. I recently discovered that I'm a highly sensitive person, and that is one of the hardest things to be in a Christian community, but also in an African household. So a highly sensitive person is a person that is sensitive, maybe spiritually, physically, emotionally. So physically might look like you are very sensitive to certain foods. Maybe your skin is sensitive to certain environments. It could be a certain type of temperature. It could be a certain type of perfume, a scent, and things like that. People who are emotionally sensitive, they pick on people's emotions, their energies, and people who are highly sensitive are more in tune with what is happening spiritually. So maybe you can easily discern stuff, you can easily discern spirits and things like that. So for me, I recently discovered that I'm a highly sensitive person, mostly spiritually and emotionally. I used to be very highly sensitive physically, but I've found a way of combating that, and I think I'll talk about that in my next video. So basically, I discovered that compared to most people I know, my friends, my family, I am highly sensitive in terms of physically, spiritually, and emotionally, and that used to drain and overwhelm me. So here are a couple of extreme things. I know this might be extreme for you if you're not highly sensitive. So these are a couple of extreme things that I do or don't do because I have now realized that I'm a highly sensitive person. And if you are not a highly sensitive person, you might find these things a little bit extreme. If you are, this might help you to actually cope. So these are extreme. You can do it a more moderate way, but these are extreme. So for me, number one, I do not skip prayer time or quiet time. Why is that? For me, I get overstimulated by things like noise, stuff happening, people, whatever. So if I do not have time to pray, I don't have an outlet for me to let out that overwhelm, that feeling of being overwhelmed. And also, I like to have some quiet time, especially now that I'm back on TikTok. I see a lot of things, I watch a lot of things, and those things kind of drain me. So I just discovered that, okay, when I have some quiet time, at least 10 minutes, it helps me to calm down and to be less anxious. Number two, which is very, very, very extreme. I know this one is extreme. Please, guys, don't hate me. But hanging out with my friends. It's not that my friends have an issue or people have an issue, but I realize that the more I hang out with people in general, so this is not just friends, it's just people in general, but you know, we use the term friends. I noticed that the more I hang out with people, the more I pick on some of the stuff that they are going through. So I would easily get overwhelmed. So it's not that I don't hang out with them completely, I just moderate. So instead of like chatting and talking to people every day, I limit the amount of times that I interact with people, especially my friends. Why my friends? Because I love them so much. So now if I'm sensitive to people, I'm even much more sensitive to my friends. So some of them I've had to even have conversations with them like, okay, please, let's talk, but let's not talk so often, or at least try to, process your emotions before you come and talk to me. Because what will start happening is I would listen, maybe someone comes to me with a problem, and then I get extremely overwhelmed, and it will take me like a week or more to recover. So what I started doing is I now spend time alone. And the advantage of that is it's taught the people around me to self-regulate, but also I have learned to self-regulate on my own. So when I'm overwhelmed, I don't go to people to vent. I actually have to deal with the emotions because I get overwhelmed quickly. So I deal with the emotions, and that has just helped me to do better. The third one, which one is also a little bit controversial, but working a full-time draining job. I used to have a job, it used to pay me well, but it was extremely overwhelming for me. Other people who would see me from afar, from the terraces, would say, oh, I'm just, weak, too sensitive. But the thing is, I'm a highly sensitive person. So definitely things are going to overwhelm me. No matter how hard I try, no matter how much I try to be strong, to ignore everything, like environments affect me. That's how God made me, and I do my best obviously to be strong and to not let things like, if you know me, I'm a pretty tough person, but there's certain environments I can't be in because they affect me even just spiritually. So I had to leave my job about 2 years ago. I think January marks 2 years, and obviously later on I found a better one, but I literally had to quit my job because I was constantly overweight, I was constantly getting sick, and I didn't know it was because I was a highly sensitive person. So that's the third thing. A job that has me working extra too many hours because I would get tired so quickly. A job that has me just basically a toxic environment. I can't do that. The fourth one, you may not like me for this, but watching movies. I still watch movies, but just rarely. So I get overstimulated when I watch too many things at once. So if I'm seeing too many like pictures and images, and there's just too many colors and images, I get very, very, very exhausted. And because of that, I decided to limit my screen time and just altogether stop watching movies. But of course, I haven't really stopped. I just rarely watch movies, and if I do watch a movie, it's mostly movies that don't have like an overstimulating theme. So my time is almost up. Let me do a part 2 and explain more and see, maybe you can pick 1 or 2 things that might help you.